The Carmageddon way to make money in Crossout, number 29. You know, for newbies. Hi, I'm your financial guru, dangerously incompetent. It can be problematic to make coin when you've just started playing Crossout, because most profit methods require coin to start with. They require an investment, and it takes coin to make coin. But then there's always farming. You can get scrap, wires, batteries from missions, or you farm copper, plastic and electronics from raids. Now, with Mr. Twister mini-season, there's an alternative farming battle. Judgement Night. Judgement Night is a great way for beginner players to make coin. It's almost as if it was designed to help newbies up the steep economic curve of Crossout. Judgement Night is great for newbies because... Reason number one, the vehicles are provided. Building your own vehicle is satisfying and great fun, and it's one of the great big draws of Crossout. But it's complicated and it takes time to learn how to build well. For Judgement Night, you don't need to learn how to build, because the vehicles are provided. All the design has been done for you. And because the vehicles are provided, you don't need to get the parts for your build. As a starter player, your vehicles are extremely limited. Your design options are extremely limited because you've got very few parts. I mean, that's why you want to get resources and coin, is in order to get new parts. My build would be so much better if I had a seal radiator and cool my guns down and increase my burst damage. But I can't afford to buy one. That's why you're here. You want more money so you can get more parts, so you've got more options when you build your own vehicle. The other advantage of the vehicles being provided is that you're in the same build as any veteran players you happen to meet in Judgement Night. Whereas in a mission battle, you meet a veteran player, they've built the vehicle well, they've had it ages, they refined it to the peak of effectiveness, and then fitted upgraded parts to it. So they've got an advantage. Which, as a starter player, that sucks. That's not a problem in Judgement Night. Everybody's in the same vehicles. And because everybody's in the same vehicles, you only need to learn how to fight a small set of vehicles. You don't need to learn how to fight the huge assortment of vehicles that players bring to missions. Oh, that one's got wheels, that one's got tracks, that one's got hovers. He's got machine guns. I know what machine guns are, but what on earth is that gun? What's that weapon effect that just hit me and ripped off half my vehicle? I don't know. What's going on? It's so confusing. It's a steep learning curve in mission battles, and this is an awful lot simpler. Because limited set of vehicles, everyone's in the same vehicles. Also, in mission battles, there's a whole load of different maps that you need to learn where you can go and where you can't go and what's the advantage of going over there, whereas in Judgement Night, only one map to learn. Then there's the free-for-all arcade game nature of Judgement Night. Power-ups randomly appear on the map and can boost your weapons or repair your vehicle. Your main weapon can get supercharged and do huge damage, which can get you insta-kills. But it's usually a bit of luck to actually get hit with it. Like the junk truck, it throws taxis at people, which is really hard to use. But it does vast amounts of damage in an area effect. You can get multiple people at once. These sort of things introduce randomness to the end result of Judgement Night battle. There's stuff in this battle that many veteran players say puts them right off. There's the horrible steering, there's the limited arc on weapons that normally rotate 360 degrees, and kill stealing. In other battles, most of the points come from damage, and only a little bit comes from the kills. Judgement Night, it's the other way around. You get big points for kills. You let someone else do all the heavy lifting, and then you nip in at the end, steal the kill, steal all the points. All this makes it easier for a new player to do well against a veteran player. It's like playing Snakes and Ladders versus playing chess. You could be a Snakes and Ladders expert, dedicate your life to it, newbie comes along, rolls a few sixes, they win. Oh, that was easy. Whereas in chess, the veteran player goes, move, 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 checkmate. Move, 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 checkmate. The newbie doesn't stand a chance, he's still wondering what the horsey figure does. How does that move? Newbies make mistakes, And if you're making mistakes, you're better off in Judgment Night, because it's a lot more forgiving than missions or raids. You make a mistake, you get destroyed, you respawn. You make a mistake, you get destroyed, you respawn again, and respawn and respawn. Unlimited respawns. In raids, you get one free respawn, and then you could start buying repair kits for more respawns, but that quickly turns the raid into a coin loss, very quickly. And mission battles, you make one mistake, you're destroyed, and that's it, you're done. You have to wait for the next battle. Or you could quit out early, but that means you lose 90% of the resource reward for the battle you just quit out of. For these reasons, it's easier to get good at Judgment Nights than it is to get good at missions or raids. And of course, the better you get at a battle mode, the better you play, the more you score, the more resources you get at the end of the battle. The resource reward algorithms for Judgment Night isn't so newbie friendly, unlike mission battles, where resource rewards are weighted towards the middle. What do I mean by that? Well, let's have a graph so I can explain. This axis is your scrap reward, increasing, and this axis is how much you scored in the battle, increasing up this end. Here is where you've scored less than 50 points. You've done so little, the game's decided you're not being an active participant, you don't deserve any reward at all, so you get no scrap. But so long as you do something, like you shoot a part off one of the enemies, you'll get something. You'll get at least 16 scrap. And this area is what you get as a player on the losing team. So the better you do, the more scrap you get. And then this is what you get for being on the winning team. So the winning team, a player on the winning team always gets more than every other player on the losing team. Even if you're doing really badly, you still get more than losing side. So there's an incentive to win, but the better you do, the more scrap you get. But there's a limit. There's a limit of about 32 coin. Is the most I've managed. 32 scrap, sorry, is the most I've managed out of mission. No matter how well you do on the winning side, if you do all the damage, you get all the kills, you only ever get 32 scrap. You only ever get double that of any of the losing players. So that's what I mean by the rewards are weighted towards the middle. And that's a really good feature for Crossout, because it means no matter how hard things are, how badly you're doing, how much of a struggle it is, you're not doing very well and you keep on losing, it doesn't matter resource wise, because you always get 16 scrap so long as you do something. That means you're always progressing economically. You're always getting a bit closer to that next part. It keeps people playing even when they're struggling. Whereas in Judgment Night, the resource rewards are linear. On the y-axis you have the amount of plastic you get, and on the x-axis you have how well you did in the battle, from last place to first place. In last place you get 2 plastic. In first place you get 12 plastic, 6 times as much. Great if you're winning, not so good if you're struggling. Judgment Night resource rewards are much more generous to the best performers than mission battles are. Which battle nets you the most coin? If we overlay the two graphs and scale the y-axis by the coin value of the resource reward, 12 plastic is worth about 4 coin, whereas the maximum 32 scrap for mission is worth about 1.7 coin. Judgment Night wins. Unless you place last, in which case you'd have got more coin by being in a mission battle. You get a lot more coin for your farming in Judgment Night per battle. Did you notice that caveat? Per battle. Each Judgment Night battle takes 6 minutes 40 seconds, whereas mission battles take a maximum of 5 minutes, and they're usually a lot shorter than that, for an average of 2 minutes 30 seconds-ish. So you can get 2.5 mission battles in for 1 judgment battle. That's 2.5 times the scrap. Now you're getting similar amounts of coin between judgment and mission per hour. Don't forget to factor in queue time. It could take minutes to get into a mission battle, and matchmaker's got to have some time to do its stuff. Now a veteran player can play at the power score where there's lots of players and where the queues are short, a few seconds. But a new player is limited to low power score missions because that's all they got the parts for, that's the only build they got. And if they're level 1 to 10 in the engineers, it's a separate matchmaking pool entirely. and there's not that many people in it, and there's not that many people playing at low power scores, so a new player can be queuing for minutes to get into a mission. Whereas there's lots of players playing Judgement Night, so the queue time's in seconds. You're back to getting more coin by playing Judgement Night, because you're spending less time queuing. And there's always someone who says, what about fuel? You can get 15 fuel per battle, that's 90 cents at today's prices per battle. Don't forget to factor that in. And I go, no. To get that 15 fuel, you have to win the battle, you have to survive the battle, and you have to have the fuel tank and fuel barrel intact on your build at the end of the battle. Even a veteran player isn't going to be getting 90 cents per battle because they don't survive every battle. They don't win every battle. It's more like about 20 cents per battle you're getting, and that's a veteran player. And as a newbie player, you're not going to be surviving as long as much, so you're going to get even less, because the fuel tank and the fuel barrel are explosive. They get shot, they go boom, they destroy your build. Fuel isn't that great a contributor to your coin per hour. Overall, in my estimation, if you're placing top 3 regularly, it's worth playing Judgement Night over missions. And for a starting player, just play Judgement Night. You'll get more coin for all the reasons I've just listed. No, I've forgotten raids. You can get resources in raids. Only kidding, I haven't forgotten about raids. Yes, raids can give you plastic and electronics for more coin per hour than Judgement Night will, but you have to complete the raid to get the full reward, and if your team members aren't performing well, you just wasted your fuel, because it costs you fuel to go into the raid. You get free fuel, starter player gets 60 free fuel. That's 1.5 plastic raids. And if you start buying fuel to carry on raiding, your remuneration rate drops significantly. Plus, a starter player isn't going to have a build that's effective in plastic raids. You need epics at least for a plastic raid. If you're a veteran, grouped up with 3 other veterans specialising in raids, you can get more coin in raids. But otherwise, you're better off in Judgement Night. And speaking as a veteran player, I'm bored to death of raids. I've had enough of them. I mean, I do 3 hard raids a day, but just so I can get the engineers badges off the weekly challenges. That's 500 for the hard copper and 500 for the hard electronics. I do that because I heard a rumour about engineers badges, but more on that in another video. In summary, if you're a starting player, play Judgement Night. You're better off economically playing Judgement Night. Play it and play it and play it until you're sick of it, and then play the other battle modes for a change. All the plastic you get from Judgement Night, pro tip, don't sell it now. Lots of people are selling plastic now, which has pushed the price of plastic down. Wait until Judgement Night ends and Snowstorm starts, because Snowstorm comes with fixed upgrades and people will be crafting for those fixed upgrades, and that will drive the price of plastic up. So if you can wait until like New Year's, you'll get a lot more coin for your plastic. If you're a veteran, it's a toss-up on the coin per hour front, so play Judgement Night if you enjoy it, and if you don't play it. It's only around for another two weeks after all. That's it for this video. Like, subscribe, and have a look at the Incompetent Way to Make Money in Crossout playlist. And I'll see you in the next video. P.S. If you are doing badly in a battle, don't give up. Play it all to the end. This battle, I went from 3rd to 1st in the last 10 seconds. Good old Fusebot.